Okay, family, welcome back to this channel. Bakanagar and Davidani. In the previous lessons, you have seen that about the English modals and how to use them, their examples in two parts. Today, we will see about active and passive voices. What is active and what is passive? How to change active into passive voices and passive into active voices also. So, if you are interested in this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like, share to your friends. Your video dura hin ilaalini video dura akka ilaaltan recommend isin godha because that video about modals is very important for you. They are always on exams, on our day-to-day communications with our teachers, with our friends or families. So I recommend you to watch the videos, two videos about modals. Now let's proceed to our today's lesson. Today's lesson is about active and passive voices. Active and passive. So we will see what is active, how to change active into voice, passive voices, and passive into active voices. What are their structures? How to change verbs? What pronouns to be changed in the active forms and in the passive forms. Look here, voice is that form of the verb. Voice is that form of the verb which shows whether subject work is something or work or action is done upon the subject. Kana jechuun yoo subjectii waa wayii dalagu yookiin immoo actionii yookiin hojiin tokko yoo subjectii irratti dalagamu voice jennaan. Kana voice jennaan jechuudha. Yoo subjectii waa wayii dalaguu fi yoo gochi wayii subjectii irratti dalagamu. Yoo subjectii waa wayii dalagu objectii irratti maal jennaani active voice jennaani jechuudha. Yoo gochi wayii subjectii irratti dalagamu immoo passive voice jennaani jechuudha. So, for example, Rachana eats an apple. Rachana eats an apple. Rachana is a name of a person, so he eats an apple. Here, the subject of this sentence is Rachana, and the object of this sentence is an apple. So the action is done upon an object, an apple. Sanaafu maal jenna? Rachana eats an apple. Rachanaan appilii waan nyaateef here there is a verb which binds these two objects and subject. So this is an active voice because Rachana is a subject. Subject is doing something or applying an action on an object. So that's why this is a voice, active voice. But when we change this active voice into a passive voice, an apple is eaten by Rachana. An apple were what? An apple were an object of the first sentence or an active voice. But it became what? The subject of the passive voice. Seera kana beekuu qabdu. The subject of the active voice is changed to the object of the passive voice. And the subject of the passive voice is the object of active voice. Kana beekuu qabdu jechuudha. Here. Asigaa apple maal turte objectii turte jechuudha. But here apple is subjectiidha jechuudha. Subjectii taateerti jechuudha. Objectiin active keessatti subjectii passive keessaati. Subjectiin active keessaa here Rachana here is subject but here objectii ta'ee jechuudha. Seera kana beekuu qabdu jechuudha. So let's proceed. In the first sentence, subject Rachana works or acts. Rachana is an apple. Rachana is doing an action. In the second sentence, action is done upon subject Rachana. An apple is eaten by what? Rachana. So the action is done upon what? The subject. Or subject is the receiver of the action. Or subject is the doer of the action. In active case, subject is the doer of the action. But in the passive case, subject is the receiver of the action. How to change a subject in object or vice versa? Subject in object or object in subject. Kana kamitti jiruu dandeenya. You know that you are very familiar with this. I changes into me. We changes into us. You changes into you. He changes into him. She changes into her. they changes into them, it changes into it. You're very, very familiar with this. So let us proceed. Look, I maali jijjiirraa, I paasivii keessatti yoo fakkeenyaaf I fayyadamne, paasivii keessatti me fayyadamna jechuudha. We changes into us, we changes into what? Usidha jechuudha. You changes into you, he changes into him, she changes into her, they changes into them, it changes into itidha jechuudha. We will see by examples. So let's proceed. Now, when we see about the active and the passive voices, they can be used in many tenses. They can be used in simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, simple past tense, simple continuous tense, simple future tense, and even in future or conditional tenses. So let us see one by one. Simple present tense keessatti akkamitti structuring active voice akami, structuring passive voice akami, how to change active into passive and simple present tense kan jedhu halallo. Structure is subject plus, look at it, subject plus verb 1 plus s or es plus object. So this is the structure of the active voice in simple present tense. Subject plus verb 1 plus s or es plus object. Structure of passive voice in simple present tense is subject plus is or am or are plus verb 3 or past participle plus by plus object by the formula. So let us support these structures by an example. Example: Rohit takes tea. Rohit. Look, Rohit is what? The subject. Rohit is the subject. Takes. Take is what? Verb 1. So this verb 1. Take. Is. Look, take cannot take es. So it takes what? Es qofa fudhata jechuudha. Because taking of ishaati iyyuu dura maal qaba? E waan qabuuf es qofa fudhata. Structure. And what? T. T is an object of this statement jechuudha. Passive voice. When we change this into passive, the object of the active voice is changed into what? The subject of the passive voice. So T is here object. If it was object, but it became what? Subject of subject. Is taken by what? Rohit. By is the structure. Rohit, the subject of the first sentence, becomes object of the second sentence. For example, Rohit takes tea. In passive voice, T is taken by Rohit. Rohit changes into what? Object. T becomes subject, as I told you before. And this is how we can change passive into active, and this is the structure of passive and active in simple present tense. Let us see present continuous tense with ing forms. Look, present continuous tense. In present continuous tense, the structure of the active voice is subject plus is or am plus or are plus verb 1 plus ing plus object. In passive voice, subject plus is or am or are plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus object. This is the structure of the active and the passive voices in simple present continuous tense. Let us see the example. For active voice, this is active voice, you should know this. Or you can check from the structure, you can check from this structure. If it is in this in this form of the structure, it is active. If it is not, if it is in this form, it is what? Passive voice. Look, I am writing a letter. Look, subject is what? I. So is, I is single, we should use am for I. So I am writing. Write is verb 1 here. Verb 1. ing form plus a letter. This is obvious. No need of repetition. So a letter is being written by me. A letter is being written by me here. Being jenne jira, being in structure, ing form yo qabate, being fayyadamne in structure. And what? Verb 3 of the verb by and me here. I changes into me. We said that before. I changes into me. I in active voice is changed into what? me in passive voices jechuudha. For example, she, her, he, him, they, them kanneen jennee jirra jechuudha. So another is present perfect tense. How to change or what are the structures of the active and the passive voices in present perfect tense. Here in present perfect tense, a structure active voice subject plus has or have plus verb 3 plus object. Look at this structure. This is the structure. If the tense is in present perfect tense, you should use this structure. For an active voice and for what? Passive voice, this is the structure. So depending on this structure, we can change every sentence into passive or active. For example, we have watched our clothes. This sentence is what? In the form of this structure. So it is an active voice. And our clothes have been washed by us. Look, this is the form of the structure. So we have washed our clothes. We. So we have. Maaliif haazii fayyadamuu dinne? Because we is what? Plural. We nama hedduutu jira waan ta'eef. So haavii fayyadamna jechuudha. Verb 3. Washed our clothes. Active voice here. Object is what? Our clothes. And this object becomes what? Subject is equal. Subject is right. Our clothes have been, have, our clothes. Our clothes so they has if but it is s. This s makes our clothes plural one go to have been if have if been is a structure washed by us. Here we is changed into us. Can I be who are never made a mistake and such conditions. And the other is in past perfect tense. In past perfect tense, structure of active voice is subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object. In passive, subject plus had plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus object. For example, we had washed our clothes. Here, subject we, had is a structure, been verb 3, and our clothes had been washed by us. This is in this structure. This is in this structure 4. So if it is in past perfect tense and it is active voice, subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object. Right? For example, we had washed our clothes. We, subject, had, verb. Washed, had is the structure, washed is the verb, our clothes is an object. Our clothes had been washed by us. This is in the passive form. Right? By us, we change it into us. Our clothes had been washed by us. And the other is past continuous tense. In past continuous tense, the structure of the active voice is subject plus was or were plus verb 1 plus ing plus object. ing. Look, why continuous yoo sun ing formula jechuudha. Akkasuma dammoo passive itti yoo jijjiirru there should be being a structure and the passive voice sentence keessa jiraachuu qaba jechuudha. Why ing yoo continuous jennu sentence sun maal qabaachuu qaba? Active ta'e active irratti ing formii qabaachuu qaba jechuudha. But in passive being qabaachuu qaba jechuudha instead of ing form. So its subject is subject plus was or were plus verb 1 plus ing form plus object. In passive, subject plus was or were plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus object. For example, we were playing football. We were playing football. We were, because we is a single, a plural, we should use were. And playing football plays a verb 1 ing form plus object. And when we change this into a passive form, we should follow this structure. This is structures. First, we should take the subject of the passive voice. The subject of the passive voice is the object of the active voice. Here, what is the object of the active voice? Football. Then we should take football. And is football plural or singular? If it is plural, we should take were. If it is singular, we should take was. So football is singular. Was. Being is the structure. Being played by us. We change it into us. And there's another active and passive voices in future perfect tense. In future perfect tense, the structure of active voice is subject plus will or shall plus have plus verb 3 plus object. In passive voice, structure is subject plus will or shall plus have plus been plus verb 3 by plus object right? For example, Madi will have reached the station. This is active voice. This if you subject plus will plus shall plus have plus verb 3 plus object structure kana qabattan example isaa kana hojjechuun baay'ee isinii salphataa jechuudha. Madi will have reached the station. Madi is what? The subject here, the subject. And the will is the structure. Have is the structure. Reached. Verb 3 here, verb 3. And the station is an object of the sentence. But when we change this statement into an passive voice, look, the station will have reached by Madi. The station, the object of the active voice becomes what? Here is the object. Asitti malta subject. The station will have been reached by Madi. Will have been reached by Madi. But if you don't want to mention the doer of the action and you are talking about a passive voice, you can remove by plus the doer of the action, or you can leave the doer of the action. It is optional. Ama by Madi kan jedhu kana dhiisuu hin dandeessu jechuudha. The station will have been reached yoo jettan it is a sensible statement dha jechuudha. And let's see simple future. In simple future, structure of active voice is subject plus will or shall plus verb 1 plus object dha jechuudha. In passive voice, subject plus will or shall plus be plus verb 3 plus by plus object. For example, I will take tea. This is active voice because it is in the form of what? The structure of active voices in simple future. So I will take the tea. I will take tea. This is active. And when we change this into a passive voice, tea will be. Tea, the object of the active, becomes the subject of the passive. Will be is the structure. Verb 3 of take, taken by me is a structure. So this is in this form. Right? So that's very simple. Imperative sentences. Let's see imperative sentences. When we see imperative sentences, a structure of an active voice in some imperative sentence is verb 1 plus object. Right? Verb 1 plus object. In passive, let plus object plus verb 3. Right? For example, close the door. Close the door. Close the door so jenne verb plus objective of right. So maal goona passive itti yoo jijjiirru let fayyadamna, objective fayyadamna, then we add be, then verb 3 of the verb which was given in an active voice. For example, shut the door. This is active. Look, shut is what? The verb 1, and the door is what? Object. Only there is no subject in this case. So if there is no subject in the sentence, it is what? Imperative sentence. So we should use this structure to change it to a passive voice. Let the door be shut. Let the door be what? Shut. Verb 3 of shut is what? Is shut itself. So open the window. Let the window be opened. Structure again. Let the window be opened. So you should use these structures to change imperative sentences into passive voices, and to change the imperative sentences in a passive form to active form itti jijjiiruufis kana fayyadamtu jechuudha. And the other topic that we are going to see is interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences. While changing interrogative active sentence to passive forms, we use helping verb in the starting. Helping verb fayyadamna jechuudha jalqaba irratti. For example, does he like coffee? This is in active form. Is coffee liked by him? Easy fayyadamna jechuudha. Easy is here what? Helping verb. Is coffee liked by him? Are you playing football? Active. Is football being played? Look, this is what? Present continuous tense in interrogative form. So helping verb qofa fayyadamna malee seera present continuous tense sana apply goona jechuudha asitti. For example, are you playing football? Football is what? Object is eega. You is what? You is subject. So football object being played by you. Easy asitti fayyadamna jechuudha. is asitti fayyadamna. Helping verbi jalqaba irratti fayyadamna then we follow the same procedures of the other tenses. Have, sorry, have he washed clothes? Have clothes been washed by us? So this is very obvious, but we use helping verbs here. Helping verbs, helping verbs fayyadamna malee. The same is true for the other tenses that we have seen earlier. And the other is future perfect tense. We have seen future perfect tense. The other is types of writing. We will see this course in next part.